In today's segment, we are going over electronic materials that is going to make your life so much easier. Takes away a lot of the time-consuming parts of everything and gives you accuracy every single time, as long as you maintain proper maintenance, which we will get into later. So the first thing, these three things are pipettes. This is a 1 milliliter pipette that's graduated. I know you can't see that, but it's there, trust me. This is a handheld. This is a 10 milliliter pipette, and you just put it in your liquid, pull it up, you see the 10 milliliters there, and then drop your nutrients into your working batch. If you have a larger batch, I recommend an electric pump. This goes up to 50 milliliters. So you just press a button, fills it to 50, and there you go. Now, the most important part about these pipettes in particular, both of them actually, is you can see there's a little piece of cotton at the top, right? And if that gets wet, you have to throw it away. So you have to keep that dry at all points in time. So don't store them upside down. Always leave them on kind of an incline, so that way the moisture stays away from that cotton.
Right. Another handy instrument is your pen. In our case, we're using an Apera P60. Comes in this nice little kit. And in the kit, you have instructions. You have a nice little laminated cheat sheet. And most importantly, you have your calibration certification. So in the kit, okay, you have the Apera meter itself. You have what they call a cleaning solution or storage solution. You have pH samples. You have, in other words, pH 4, pH 7. And then for your pH calibrations, in this case, we're only using a 2-point calibration. Then you have your 12.88 and 1413 for your EC. They also supply these handy vials for 7 pH, 4 pH, the 1413, and the 1288. The pen itself, okay, has a watertight cap, okay, it has a display screen, has 3 buttons, and a battery cap here. Okay, to use the Apera pen, remove the cap, set it aside, tap the power button once. On the screen itself, okay, this particular meter will take a pH setting. It's set on pH now. You can see the pH here. It'll also do several versions of conductivity, including salinity, EC, and 2 other various calibrations. Okay, so now we'll do a sample calibration. We have our sample water here, and we just put it into the liquid itself.
$6.89.
And then there should be like a little smiley face come on when it's steady. The little smiley face is right there. Okay, and it pops on when it's steady. Okay, so in this case, our test sample is 6.64, which is in the range of RO water. To do an EC, okay, we press the mode button, okay, and step on through the various mode things. Okay, in this case, you can see mu-seconds, okay, which is the microseconds. That's the EC scale. Okay, we'll put it back in and see what kind of reading we get. The little smiley face comes on. 2.68. You'll also see that it reads the temperature of the water. In this case, it's 75 degrees. And the smiley face is on. All right. Okay, so when you're done taking your readings, you must rinse off the cap. In this case, we were using a tap water here. But if you're using a reservoir, there's going to be nutrients and things like that, and you don't want to contaminate your probes. So you come over here in the clean water, rinse it off, and then just give it a shake. Okay, and then you're ready. To shut it off, you just press the on-off button again. You also notice it doubles as a light switch. But in this case, we'll just shut it off and secure the cap on. Periodically, you need to calibrate your meter. This particular meter, we're going to use a 2-point calibration starting at a 7.0 pH and then a 4 pH. You can calibrate it up to the 10.01 pH. We don't have that sample here, but we're very rarely going to be over 7.0 in pH to measure, so we only need to have an accurate range. Then after that, we're going to go to and calibrate the EC probe, okay, the salinity probe. Our salinities will can actually take, our salinity calibration can actually be pretty high. On our case, we're going to go with the 1413 because that's in the range of all our nutrient blends. So we're starting off with the 7.0 on the pH. You always start with pH, then go to EC. And you always start with 7. You take your meter, okay, you power on. Okay, click your mode switch till you make sure it's in pH. I'm just going to keep clicking and then find that damn thing. And to pH. And then we hit calibrate. You notice the screen turns green. And it's going to request that the first pH be 7.0. Can I put them down? Yeah, why not? Okay, so now we dip the meter into the solution. Make sure the probe is covered. And it's going to give a reading.
6.93.
Okay, okay, so reading now is 6.93. Okay, that's what it's reading, but we know that the solution is 7.0. So now we just press the calibrate button once, and it should flash and go to 7. Okay, so we can take it out of that. Okay, go over and rinse it. It's very important we rinse between settings so that we don't contaminate. Then shake. All right. Put him away, and we bring out the 4. So now we're still in calibrate mode, so we're going to hit calibrate again, and it should be looking for the 4. You do all your pH calibrations at the same time. You start off with the 7, then we go to 4. So we hit the calibration button, and then it'll automatically look for the 4. So now we open up our solution, okay, dip it in, and it should be go because it knows it's a 4. It's got to be giving us a low reading, right? Okay. So then to set that reading, we press calibrate again, and that'll lock it in at 4. So now our meter knows what 7 is. It knows what 4 is. We could go to the 10, but we don't have a 10 liquid here, calibrating fluid. So we'll take it out. Okay. Rinse it through in clear water. Distilled is the best. RO is second best. They're very, very similar. All right. And then we lock it in by hitting the power button. All right. Now that we have the pH calibrated, we're going to go and calibrate the EC. For the EC, we're just going to use a single point, although we can use a double point. In this case, the single point is 1413. That'll calibrate our meter for the range of EC that we're going to be using for our nutrients. So we step through using the mode until we get microseconds. Then we hit calibrate, just press it, and it turns green. All right, and it's looking for 1413 or 12.8. It doesn't know, but as soon as you put it in the liquid, okay, it'll start going and finding that what it thinks is 1413. Okay, so then to set that calibration, we just tap the calibration button. And it automatically knows what 1413 is. And then to set that, we just press the power button. If we had wanted to go to a two-step on this, okay, we could calibrate it for the 1288, but we don't really need to do that. All right, so now I'm going to just shut it off. All right, and we'll clean off the electrodes again. Okay, that's in the pure water. Give it a shake. Cap up our juice. Okay. Okay. Now we'll do a test. What was this one? Okay, so now that we're calibrated, we'll do an EC test. It's 290. Smiley face is on, you can see that. Okay, then we'll go mode to get over to pH. Okay, you see it's set on pH. Do a pH reading. The smiley face is on, and it's 6.62. Okay, now that we're done with that, okay, again, we rinse it off. Give it a shake. Okay, we need to dry it off. Paper towel, and you wipe off the whole thing. You can blow into it like that. One thing that's kind of interesting, okay, on this particular one, and it's going with the new style of apparas, is they put this little shield on the end to protect the pH bulb that's inside of it. Sometimes it's a little hard to clean, okay, but this will snap right off, so it'll let you clean in there with a Q-tip or some very delicate apparatus. Don't poke on it too much. These are very expensive to replace. Another thing that we've done in using this particular Apara is that the whole tip is replaceable. It screws on. You can get replacements, so in other words, you don't have to throw out your whole meter if your probes don't hold a charge. And to secure it, okay, there's sufficient water on here. We can just put the cap on, shut the power off, and always return it into its case. For long-term storage, or if it hasn't been used in several months, there's this little bottle here of KCl solution. Okay, in this case it's sealed up. You would just put a small drop inside of here, a couple of drops inside here, swish the probe around, and then dump it out, leaving a piece in there. That'll preserve the probe or reactivate it after long-term storage. So now you know how to use the probe, you know how to calibrate it. There are instructions online if you really need to find any more detail on this and to get any replacement calibration solutions.